trailer, then order the movie for a great night of entertainment. And while you're at freddryer.co, check out the memorabilia and my career highlights. But don't forget to order my new action thriller movie, Highway 395. So head over to freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co.
Oh, CRN listeners, this is Michael Horn, inviting you to join me and my co-host, sommelier Nicole Nielsen from Roost Chris Steakhouse, as we present What's Cooking on Wine. Find out about the latest trends in wine, great food, spirits, and a whole lot more. It's What's Cooking on Wine, done live at 6 o'clock Monday nights at Roost Chris Steakhouse in Pasadena, California, and then the replays throughout the weekend right here on CRN. So if you love wine and you love great food, it's What's Cooking on Wine right here on CRN. Welcome to Lifestyle Buzz Today with Orlando. Fresh, innovative, entertaining talk about topics we are all in one way or another involved with. And now, here's your host, Orlando Burgos.
Well, hello, world. Yes, we are here once again. And once again, we are just like at the beginning of a great holiday for all the Christians out there. And I guess all religions. We all celebrate Easter. My guest today, Mr. Paul Jackson, a man that has been doing it in the entertainment business for a long, long time. And I mean, he's got an impressive resume here. And we're going to be discussing all kinds of matter regarding the production, writing, and entertainment. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. This has been a quiet week as in respect to other weeks. There's really hardly anything going on. This is not a political show, but I have to tell you one thing, that there has been many things that are worth discussing. It looks like we are getting a little bit closer to maybe having a parlay with the people from North Korea, which, you know, it's like I said, it's not that everybody's involved in politics or anything like that, but the world at peace without worries is something that has been the dream of many people. And who knows, maybe we're getting closer, huh?
Well, it's not a political show, and I am a Hollywood liberal, so maybe I shouldn't jump in there. I would love peace like anybody else, but I have questions about everything that happens these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, I have to tell you one thing, that the word liberal is something that I find very confusing, because I'm from the other side. I'm not one of the Hollywood Democratic Party or anything else. I'm a registered Republican. But I feel myself to be, and my wife is also, and we happen to be very liberal in the sense of the word, the natural sense of the word, which for me, liberalism means love of freedom, respect for others. It's not about wealth sharing or anything like that, but about wishing the best for everybody around,
right.
You know?
No.
We happen to be, and my daughter is here, and we happen to be colorblind. I mean, we come from Costa Rica, which is very democratic, very simple country, where a black person is just a person. A gay person, just a person. You know, we don't label. You know, so to me, when a lot of people say, well, I happen to be a liberal, I always ask, okay, what does that mean to you versus what it means to me?
Well, what it means to me is pretty much what you just said. And I spent a lot of time in Canada. We film a lot up there. Yeah. And so I'm more of a Canadian progressive liberal, which we could discuss sometime.
No, I mean, you know, like, that's one of the reasons I think why we don't really get too much into the politics of things here.
It's a good thing,
It's such a confusing situation.
It's a good thing, yeah.
Anyway, let's take a little break before we get into the meat of our interview.
I'm ready.
And stay tuned, guys. And we're going to be talking about our golf trip to Cuba a little bit more too today. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Bye.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
All right, we are back. And again, our guest today is Mr. Paul Jackson. You have been around, by looking at your resume, you've been around for a while, by your own admission, over 30 years.
Yes.
In a difficult business as this is,
Yes.
what is the secret to... Well, let's put it this way. Let's go back to the beginning of Paul. What was your launching moment into success?
When I was a young boy, there was a series called The Waltons that I loved, and I knew I wanted to be a writer. So I wrote what they call a spec script, which is a speculative script. It's a sample. Mm-hmm. And through pure luck, it happened to get to Warner Brothers. And I was sitting in Oregon. I'm 16 years old at that point, and I'm waiting for Hollywood to call, because I'm pretty sure any second they're going to call me.
That's it, man.
This is it. This is the most amazing script ever. Months go by, nobody calls. But then one day, an envelope shows up. I still have it, from Lorimar Television. And inside is my script and a 2-page critique from Earl Hamner, who created the Waltons and ran the show. And he clearly had read it. And he said, I don't know anything about you. I gather you're 22 or 23 in college. Here are my notes. I suggest you keep writing. If he had not done that, I would not be here today. And over the years, because I've been here a long time, I tried to meet Mr. Hamner many times just to say thank you. That's all I wanted to do. And I never got to before he passed away, which was too bad.
That's too bad.
But I know that's what gave me the confidence to go, you know what? Someone has to write TV.
Yeah.
So I moved to L.A. When I was in my early 30s, because I worked in radio. You and I discussed this. Mm-hmm. For almost 11 years, all over the Northwest and in Hawaii. And then one day I said, you know what? This is not going to make it for me. I'm not Rick Dees, you know.
Right.
I'm not Howard Stern. I'm the guy that goes kind of between them. So I thought, well, let's just go. It's time to go. So I came to Hollywood, and it took me about 4 years to break in. A lot of, messenger jobs and restaurant jobs, and I just kept going to classes and writing. Wrote a lot of spec scripts, and I met a guy, and he and I became partners. And then one day, and it was just like out of a dream, I was at my job, and we'd signed with a new agent at ICM. And they called, and the guy said, what are you doing? I go, I'm working. What are you doing? And he goes, I'm just calling my new professional writer. And he got me and my partner at the time a 2-hour movie at ABC. It was called The Girl Next Door, which was later made into a different movie with the same title, but not our story. And it was going to star Billy Joel's wife. What was her name? Who's Billy Joel's wife? The model.
The model.
I'm so sorry. Christy Brinkley. It was going to be Christy Brinkley moves into a neighborhood, and all the married men in town go nuts. And they're all like trying to flirt with her without getting caught by their wives. So he wrote the outline, and then ABC said, oh, Christy dropped out.
Gosh.
And then they paid us more money than I'd seen in my entire life, ever, at one time. And I went, oh, this is the job for me. So starting from there, and with a decent agent, I then started this career that I've had that luckily I've done for longer than I ever thought would be possible.
You said something very, very strong about the fact that had you not received your letter from
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Hamner, Earl Hamner.
Okay, people like that are very short in supply. People that actually take the time to give a break. Why is our industry, and I say our, because I do a little acting. I have tried several times to break into the writing part. I mean, tried. To the point that there's more rejection than any other industry. I'm sure that you have been rejected at one point
Many
or
times.
another.
Yes.
And there has to be a one that is more significant than others. I mean, is this something that is non-existent in today's Hollywood?
Giving people a break?
Yeah.
No, it's just, remember, though, that if you're working, now, Earl Hamner had to be a special man because he
Right.
was running one of the top shows on television.
Right.
And still had time to read my script. And clearly it was typed in a play form because I had never seen a teleplay. I wrote it like a stage play because that's what I knew in high school. I was a thespian. Guys like him are rare. I have read lots of spec scripts that people have sent me as a favor. One of the things that happens, though, is when you're producing a show, you're working 10, 12 hours a day,
Right.
7 days a week. And it is a bit of not an imposition, but it's a bit of a time carver out that you have to go and read somebody's script. Often what I get, and it's just because people just don't know, they really haven't taken classes. No, I hadn't either. I was 16. But I was a child of television. I watched television my whole life up until then. And I was one of those kids who didn't have a lot of outdoor activities. I watched TV. But a lot of them haven't taken classes. They don't know the form. They don't understand the basic dramatic structure
Right.
of how a story starts. And there's an inciting incident, and you have character acts, and then you have the climax. And they just don't. So what you get is more slices of life of scripts. It's like, and people think that their own lives are the most fascinating thing, but sometimes they're not. And people will write, "Oh, I'm a waitress, and here's this great story," but I've seen this story from professional writers.
Right.
So I will give critiques if I know the person or it's referred to me. I used to do them for anybody who threw it across the transom, but as I've gotten older, I find that a lot of them don't even want to take the notes. You go, "Okay, here's the thing. You should do this, this, and this," and they go, "Well, no, I don't think so." Then why did you ask me?
Well,
Don't ask me,
is
then
it a
turn
case
down.
where people's skin is actually
Very thin.
getting thinner
Yes.
and thinner?
Well, on both sides. I think the people who are submitting have thin skins because they want instant yes.
Yes.
And then the people who are in the jobs are getting thinner skin. I must tell you, there's only so many jobs. So if I encourage someone to take, and this is the way a lot of people think, I don't anymore, I'm to this level, but back then I used to think, well, if I give this person a really strong chance, a pretty good chance they might get in the industry, and that's one more person I have to compete against. And it was another executive producer who came to me and said, "That's the stupidest thing you've ever thought." Because that
Right.
person might hire you one day. Get over your own ego and give good notes. And since that day, which was good 26 years ago, that's what I do. I don't worry about anything else except, can I help this person? And if I try and they don't take the notes, then I say, well, at least I tried.
You know, the world is very big, and I have always felt that you're not going to be around forever and ever, but you can, if you're good at what you do, you're like a bottle of wine that gets better and better as you age, and you secure your place, and you also can have the pleasure, really, of creating somebody to follow you, and in due time replace you. But by the time that happens, I mean, you're ready to retire or whatever
Right.
happens to be.
Right.
I have never been one that I feel that to feel threatened by competition.
Right.
If anything, for me, competition makes me better.
I agree. What's the point of beating someone who's less than you in a competition?
Yeah.
Right. You want to be bested by a better man.
Right.
So you and I agree on that, absolutely. But back in the day when I was first starting, there was a feeling that but now there's so many more jobs. Back then there were 3, 4 networks, and that's it. Now you've got almost 500 scripted shows, so you've got plenty of places to work. And the industry's changed so much that actually there's a lot of ways to get in. But let me tell you, well, I'm sure we'll get back into this. You got to be here or New York. You cannot do it in Peoria.
Omaha.
Illinois. Yeah, Omaha. You can't. You've got to be here.
I am sure that you have been rejected at one point, and I want to hear about that because
bet.
I know it's going to be a
It'll be a
Good
fun story.
story.
You bet.
okay.
All right.
All right. This is really getting interesting. I love it. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. And you're going to enjoy it even more after we come back.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante to see memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. The Art of the Great Masters in an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old, Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, the romance of Romeo and Juliet. Find our mystical Room of the Moon, and don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, and make all of our sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. Pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, all you can eat, just $21.95. And Angelo's and Vinci's has been named the best Italian restaurant in Orange County 2 years in a row, and our owner has been named Restaurateur of the Year. Angelo's and Vinci's, Fullerton, California, 714-879-4022 or angelosandvinci's.com.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
From traditional Hawaiian weddings and vow renewals to your own unique ceremony, find out why Ka'anapali Weddings is the perfect place to say, I do. Create the memory that will last a lifetime at the place you and your family know and love, Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Imagine yourself and your loved one just steps away from world-famous Ka'anapali Beach in one of many wedding venues to choose from, including oceanside lawns, tropical gardens, or indoor banquet rooms. With your choice of catering, bar, floral, and musical options, you can make your special day customized just for you. Their wedding specialists will help you plan your dream wedding today. For more information, visit ka'anapaliweddings.com or call 661-0011. Ka'anapali Weddings, the perfect place to say, I do.
Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit TikiLive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit TikiLive.com. That's TikiLive.com. All
right, we are back. And question for Paul.
Sir.
Your most memorable rejection. There's got to be one in there.
It is. First of all, just you mentioned rejection before we went to break. That's the one thing about this business. You have to understand for every yes you might get, you're going to get 20 no's.
Yeah.
This is a business that people say no because they're afraid. I've said no because I didn't quite get it, but later said, oh, I should have said yes. But it's the sort of thing, and this is what a lot of people have problems with. It'll get you down. You walk out the door and you think, wow, that was great, and then you get the phone call that they passed. And that'll stay with you for a day. The worst thing is to get it on Friday because you get the whole weekend to obsess about it. But if you can do that, if you can understand that every audition or every script was just that, it was an attempt, and it may not have been received the way you wanted it to, and move on, you'll do better. I mean, it's something that a lot of people can't get over with, and I've been lucky. I don't know, it's maybe because I was rejected so often early on, I got used to it. But my favorite rejection, and I got to pull names here because I don't want to get sued. I was in a network that no longer exists, and with my then partner, pitching a TV show to someone who'd come from a bigger network and was now working there, and she kept saying, oh my gosh, this is exactly what our network should be doing. Tell us more. So we told her more. And she goes, guys, I'm going to stop you right there. This is fantastic. It's a done. You're going to be hearing from us. I'm going to get a hold of your agent ASAP. And we all shook hands, and she said, I'll see you soon. We go through their lobby, down into the basement to our car. What is that, 2 minutes? Pull out my cell phone, call my agent. I go, hey, we just came out of the meeting with so-and-so. And he goes, yeah, I know. I just talked to her. I said, fantastic. It's a pass. I look across the car roof at my partner. I go, she passed. And he goes, what? You're kidding. I go, she passed. She already called a pass. He tried to get back in the building, and they wouldn't let him in because he was going to go upstairs and give her a piece of his mind. That woman's no longer in the business. I know she's gone. And you look at that and you go, how could you look at me that way? How could you be so duplicitous? And that is one of the problems with Hollywood is people all want to be friends. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. You rarely get passed in the room. Actors never get passed in the room. What you get when you're acting, and I'm on the other side, is I go, good job. Way to go, Jose. Really good. Thank you so much. And then you walk out and we go, next, because you don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the bad guy. So they always do it after you've left, and you have to get used to that because this is a town, it's the old smiling faces while they're stabbing you in the back.
The Hollywood scene has been something that I've been involved in, not in the acting part, but it has always cracked me up, even when I was in the car business, because one of my biggest clients was one of the major talent agencies. And again, not to mention names, but it happened to be one of the biggest of the biggest. And I used to do the repairs on all their agents' cars, which happened to be, they had a predilection for the Jaguars at the time, and Mercedes-Benz, of course. But so anything, I would do the maintenance, the repairs, everything. And because they were high-end people, I had a habit of not driving the cars on the road. I had a fleet of my own trucks, flatbed trucks that were not for public, just for my own moving of cars to be repaired. And I took care, make sure that they were celebrity treated. Like we pick up at the car, we put a car cover on it,
right,
bring it to the shop, do whatever needs to be done, fill the gas tank with gas. And if it belonged to a male, I would put a very fine Cuban cigar on the dashboard with a thank you note. If it was a female, I would put a rose with a thank you note, until some ladies started asking for cigars too, So anyway, but so here's the funny thing is that it was just a appreciation, token of appreciation. But all of a sudden I get a phone call from a major player. And he goes, hey, listen, I know that you don't do domestic cars, but my mother-in-law crashed her brand new Cadillac, and I want you to fix it. Don't say no. I know you only do European cars, but don't say no. You need to do this. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll go pick it up. Where's the car? Okay. He calls me back and he goes, hey, listen, will I still get a cigar from you? And I'm going, yeah, sure. I'll give you 2 cigars. I mean, here's a guy that can probably buy boxes of this stuff. Right. But, so it is a charming business. And the people in it are so colorful. And you need to understand the quirkiness about it. It's not that in many cases they're evil or they want to ignore you or anything else. It's just, for one reason or another, their mindset is a little bit...
Yeah, it's a little skewed. Yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I thought that story, I never get tired of telling it because I think it's cute. I mean, it brings into focus what it is to be in the business of entertainment.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be right back with more. Stay tuned.
Do you like burgers? Then experience the ultimate famous 50-50 burger at Slater's 50-50 in Pasadena, California. 50% ground beef and 50% ground bacon. Stop by at 61 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena and visit Slater's 50-50. Experience our full bar with craft beer and more. Play in our cool new game room. View the best sports in our Slater's 50-50 TV lounge. Try our Slater's 50-50 Burgers by Design too, and all of our our incredible food, including our Sunday Bloody Mary brunch. Check out our VIP event space for private dining and ask about our chef-inspired catering company with a completely scratch kitchen-based service. It's all at Slater's 5050 under new management at 61 North Raymond in Pasadena. Call 626-765-9700. 626-765-9700. Call now, 626-765-9700.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Manetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. There is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. 800-485-8803. Call right now. That's 800-485-8803.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer with a big announcement. My new movie, Highway 395, has just been released. Don't miss this classic modern-day Western set along Highway 395 in California. It's an action thriller with some romance, too. You can own Highway 395 today by going to my brand new website, freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co. Get my new movie, Highway 395, and check out my new website, freddryer.co.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
All right, we are back, and we are going to get right down to the meat of things here. Shows. You write.
I do.
You produce.
I do.
So you're like right smack in the middle of all the action there.
Yes.
What makes a show a success today versus, let's say, shows of yesterday? You know, and if I may, Ozzie and Harriet, Donna Reed, that ages me because, I mean, it goes back to My Three Sons and all that type of stuff. Right. All part of the old establishment type of thing.
Right.
But by the same token, there was a honesty about it. Of course, you know, like they were not way honest. There was a racial divide still. Now today, it's a little bit better, more inclusive. But by the same token, sometimes today's shows are more politically correct than artistic. Am I all wet about that?
No, I don't know if you're all wet, but let's go back to the past when I grew up on those shows too. It was an idealized version of life.
Right.
You know, Ozzie and Mr. Cleaver wore suits and Mrs. Cleaver had
Apron.
had apron and pearls on. I remember once I got in trouble for something when I was a young boy. My dad, who was a Marine Corps officer, was chastising me and trying to teach me right from wrong. I remember looking up and going, "I wish I had Ozzy as my dad," which didn't score any points because Ozzy never punished anybody. Ricky and David didn't get in trouble. And I think back then television was more innocent. It was also coming out of radio. And it was very much the white ideal of what life should be like.
Mm-hmm.
I think today, and rightfully so, we have a much more diverse world and instant communication, which, I remember when I thought the beeper was the most important thing. I thought, look at this, they can never go anything. The beeper, this has to be the end all of man's creation. They can contact me anytime. Because my kids don't remember. I go, I didn't have a cell. They go, what? That's not possible.
Yeah.
But that instant communication opened up new ways for people to say, I'd like to see shows that are not about just the white ideal. It's shows about people of color. And some of the really, because, if you think going to the 70s and 80s, you had Dynasty and Dallas. Those were shows about what? Rich people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got shows about, like you had The Wire and you had The Sopranos. You have shows in Breaking Bad that are about real people to an extent, Hollywood's version of real people, doing things that are not necessarily heroic. I don't know how you root for some of these people, but you do. You say, okay, if I was in that position, I think I could do the same thing. Now, there's a network actually that kind of fights that, and that's the Hallmark Channel, which is who I work for, in case anybody wants to know. I produce a show called, with my partner and a couple other people, a thing called When Calls the Heart, and we're into our 5th season on Hallmark. We're on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. We have
That's a very popular show because I was at my office the other day and I was talking to, I forget somebody, and we mentioned your name because I was actually doing some work on the computer there. And I said, he's going to be my guest. Oh my God! Tell him I want a picture of the cast, and people recognize it right away. So.
I think we're Hallmark's #1 show. We did really well. My partner and I wrote the Christmas movie, which aired Christmas night. I think we did 5 million viewers or something. It is I wouldn't call it a white ideal show by any means, but it's an ideal show because it takes people back to a time that doesn't exist anymore. It's set in 1913, and you have a Mountie. It's a western town. It's a frontier town. And by the way, it was one of the co-creators. Well, not co-creators. It's based on a series of books, but one of the co-developers was Michael Landon Jr. So if you look at Touched by an Angel, you look at Little House on the Prairie. It's that kind of show. We don't have sex. We have romance. We don't have violence. We have occasional fisticuffs when the police are involved. Everybody learns a lesson. Everybody works together. If there's one thing that the Hardys, that's what they're called, our fan club, the Hardys is the fact that the town always comes together. And yeah, the lesson is learned, but we try not to beat you over the head with it. Right. So Hallmark has found what people want when they don't want to watch something really dark. People like both. They want to see the dark side, but they want to be inspired. And we don't talk about God a lot. We imply that there's a faith and there's something more important and bigger than us that we should maybe listen to. But we don't try to shove that down anybody's throat. Hallmark doesn't want it. We don't want it. It's up to you to decide what's real and what's not. Right. But that, speaking of faith and family and government service and selflessness and volunteerism, which this show has, is really a good message. Does that actually exist in 1913, Canada, Western Canada? No idea. But it actually makes people feel better about today's, and I think they do take these lessons and turn them into something that's relatable.
I think that in a roundabout way, maybe that's one of the things that I'm trying to get to the bottom of, is that entertainment should be about that, should be about entertaining, and for people to capture the essence of what the message is. It doesn't have to be driven like a sledgehammer, into anybody's skull. Because, in many cases today, for many shows, it has to be an ideal combination, sort of a modern version of a Norman Rockwell painting, where it has to be one black, one Mexican, one or Latino, one gay, one woman. It has to be so segmented into society. They're trying to embroider everybody into one story, and then you step back and you go, real life is not like that. There's people that hate. There's people that like. There's people that. Why not open all the doors to that?
Well, I think there are a lot of shows that do show hate and dislike, but I would counter that, at least in my life. The Office looks exactly what you described. We have people of many different ethnicities and religions and races working in television. Maybe not as many as we'd like, or they would like, the people who are underrepresented, but we do. Yes, when I first started, I didn't have anything but white folks on my show for the most part. And I've done some big shows, Lois and Clark, very simple. There was nothing about Superman that was sending a message. There was a bad guy, Superman showed up, he beat him, he saved Lois, end of the show. I did Sliders. Sliders was a show that we tried to show political stuff because it went to different worlds. Okay. But for the most part, it was shows that were fairly simple to understand. I think the audiences have grown beyond that. They want something that challenges them because they've seen everything.
Right.
They've grown up and seen it all, and now they're like, what else you got, buddy? Show me something I haven't seen before. But it's a big world, lots of channels. You can find the simple stuff. It's there, but there's also more challenging stuff.
I mean, one of the things that I noticed is that in many cases, the old shows just don't seem to go away.
No,
they
there's
just
always
moved
an audience.
around, but they do have a large audience.
They do.
Still.
They do. You bet.
So we'll be right back because people are trying to get back to basics up to a point. So stay tuned.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
All right. So, Hallmark. I mean, it's funny because it seems to me that they have the pulse of humanity.
Yeah, they are. They're the heart of Middle America.
Yeah.
And they've done a fine job of it too. They really have.
Because I don't watch too many of the shows, but the ones that I do watch, for one reason or another, like we were talking off air, I'm an old guy well, not an old. Let's say I'm used to being like an old guy where I grew up with few channels. So today I find one that satisfies me with the lineup they have, and I seem not to go beyond that. I just discovered Roku because they gave me one of those little boxes, and I still have a devil of a time finding. So like I have Netflix and I have Amazon, and now I discovered Hulu, and I go like, okay, man, this is it. But then all of a sudden I go like, what are all these other things? You know, so I'm like a toy in a candy store. Like a kid with a candy store. So I'm still discovering many things about television. And one of them is the fact that there's over like 400, 500 channels or whatever it happens to be. So the variety is like amazing.
It is. It's a real renaissance time in television because you can get so many different channels. Someone like you, we used to, the feeling was once they got you on CBS, for example, you wouldn't change the channel because A, it was too hard to do, and B, you just stay with that thing. But if you've noticed, viewers today, first of all, they don't watch television for the most part just watching television. They got their phone with them. And they're doing two things. They're doing stuff on their email and their Facebook and their Instagram and their Twitters, and then they're also watching. And when we do testing on shows, we go in behind two-way glass. They know we're there. And we watch how people watch, and you can tell instantly who's a young millennial and who isn't, because the millennials get testy. They start to move their butts around in the seat, and they're like, I have to watch just this? So the whole way of viewing television is different. If you go to movies, it's the same thing. I know they tell you to turn off your cell phone, but you'll see people in there and people are talking because they're not prepared to only have one stream of consciousness come to them. When our Hardys watch Hallmark and people of a certain age and education, they just watch that. And the reason they watch Hallmark, I think, is because it's sweet, it's romance for the most part. And I got to tell you, if there's anything this world needs is real romance, where someone doesn't have an agenda to hurt you.
Right.
And it's usually small problems. You know, you're not going to do a big murder on Hallmark because that's not what people, they want to watch that. They can go watch Blue Bloods or NCIS. What they want to see is people who are in love, who like each other, trying to make the world a better place. And I know that's simplistic. I got it. But there's a real need for it. Until I started this show, I made fun of this show. Until I was hired to work on it, because a friend of mine was on the show, I actually went, okay, whatever you say. Because, you know, I'm a cynical Hollywood writer. I got on it, and I started seeing the impact of what I was writing for people. The fans are humongous. They're called Hardys. And we go to their conventions. I went this year. I've never written a show, and I've written over 450 hours of television, has my name on it. Never been on a show where the impact of what we did was so personal and so meaningful to people. That's just something. You know, usually you might get fan mail from a flounder, but it's like, oh, you know, Superman flies faster than that. Yeah, okay, it's television, pal. Who cares, right? These people take this thing to heart, and they teach their kids the lessons. So we are sending a message, which is be kind and help each other. And I think that especially nowadays, let's not get into politics, but nowadays with a divided country as we are, I think it helps a lot. I do. I think it means something to people. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was my soapbox.
That's it, man. No, you know what? I mean, entertainment for me is something that has always been very, very basic. I mean, I'm not one that relishes the gore and blood, because I can actually have a good movie that has to do with all of that without the need to show. I use my imagination for
right.
what the outcome would be of all that violence and stuff like that. People have a tendency to be a little bit more pictorial today. They have to be more front lobe, more visual about all the blood and guts and everything spewing all over the place.
But again, when we go into testing, you'll see that, not on this show on Hallmark, but other shows, that people actually turn up the meter when they see violence. It's a visceral thing. So the more fights we had and the more shootings we'd have in a show, because I've done detective shows, the meter would go up. And then when you went back to character development, and we were talking about dinner last night with a girlfriend, it would be steady, but then when the violence came, it would go up. I don't disagree. When I first started, we couldn't even show real deaths. I mean, we're doing almost like Murder, She Wrote stuff. You found the death afterwards. But nowadays, you've got to be as weird and out there as possible, except on like Hallmark.
Is it the situation of, because you know what is really fun? People love to see violence as long as they're not involved in
Absolutely.
the violence.
Sure, it's a car accident.
So it's all about being a bystander.
A voyeur.
A voyeur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is this how people get their angst out of, like, oh my God, I was able to watch all that gore?
It could be. You know,
faint?
that's what they say the cavemen did, that they would put on shows and pretend like they're killing animals because it helped them work out their frustration. I wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there's a need among men to mankind to work out their frustrations. Some people use video games. I was never a video game player, but that's where they work it out. But I do think that we need, as you asked me earlier, we need to be edgier in a lot of shows now because everybody's seen everything. To get your attention so you don't change the channel, I've got to catch you in a way you haven't been caught before. And that is why you're seeing things that I know you and I talked off air about are kind of maybe off-putting to certain people.
Yeah. Man, what an interesting conversation we're having here, and it's ready to continue. We'll be back in a second.
The legends of Ka'anapali Luau at the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel will take your breath away with an abundant feast, spellbinding dances, and music from Lei Pono Productions. Be greeted with a lei and browse to see island crafts made by local artisans. As you hear the pu or conch shell blow, your luau experience will begin. The featured entree is a whole roasted pig and a bountiful menu of some of Hawaii's favorite food choices. Oh, you can't forget our famous made in-house taro poi. As your night comes to an end under the spell of the moon, be amazed by the famous fire walk. By the end of the night, you'll be full, and we hope you'll have made new friends and some forever memories while you continue to listen to music from Maui's local Hawaiian musicians every Monday night at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, voted Best Aloha Spirit by Hawaii Magazine readers. Call 667-0128 or visit legendsofka'anapali.com for your exciting island adventure.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
All right, we are entering into the last segment, so important question time here. I'm sure that many people out there listening are wondering, how does one break into the show, into the business?
Well, there's no single way to do it. But to summarize, what I tell most people is you've got to study, know something about either writing or acting or music. It depends. I mean, there's lots of places to go. I mean, the business has so many different things, including technical jobs. But you have to come to L.A. You're not going to break in Peoria. You've got to come here. You've got to take the classes. You've got to network. It's unlikely that Hollywood's going to come and knock on your door. They just don't.
The networking part is the one that, in my opinion, is like key.
It is key because I'm not going to read likely most people are not going to read your script or even meet with you unless they've met you once or at least know somebody who knows you. Yeah. That's why you get an agent, because the agents know people and you get managers and so forth. Is that easy? Absolutely not. And when it was easier when I started out, it really was. But the guilds have meet and greets you can go to where they'll bring in agents who only want to work with young writers, because when you have no credits, you're not going to get to CAA Paradigm or any of those agents. Networking is a big deal. Taking classes is a big deal. Keeping working at it is a big deal. A lot of people come in and write one script and go, "That's it. That's my script. You better sell this one." You got to write every day. You got to act all the time. Do theater. Do community service. Do student films. Is it easy? No. And you can do everything I just said and never succeed. But if it's meant to be, and again, luck is a part of it, which people get upset about, but it's true. Sometimes you have to be lucky.
Yeah.
Then you can break in. My suggestion to anybody right now is to take good classes, and then come here prepared to work your rear end off.
I think one of the things also is at one point or another, you actually need to start painting a little bit of skin on top of your skin to make it a little bit thicker.
It is.
Because this is not a business for the faint of heart. I mean, if you're easily disappointed for whatever reason, you better. But then again, what business is a giveaway today? I mean,
I know we don't have much time, but very quickly, I've always thought that shows like American Idol give American people the wrong idea. You walk into a room, you sing for a couple of people, next thing you know, you're on television. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
And it puts a mindset in a lot of young people that I've talked to. They go, "Well, I'm ready to be a star because I took a class in high school." The reality is it's hard work. American Idol is special because it's unique. It's hard work to come out here. You have to be, as you said, prepared to be rejected, and rejected hard, and sometimes for no reason, no reason whatsoever.
The thing is, I often wondered in American Idol, in all those, the Voice and all of that, when they actually show the people that they throw confetti at and all that type of stuff, how many actual shows have they done where they have been
rejected,
told to go away?
I don't know, but I do know professional writers and singers out here and songwriters who have worked very hard and never got their chance. But these people walk into a hotel room in Kansas City and suddenly are on TV. But that's the beauty of it. That's the fantasy that they sell.
Yeah.
That anybody can be picked tomorrow and be a prince or princess. But just for those of us who actually work in the trenches, as I've done for 30 years, it doesn't happen that way.
Sad thing. The show has come to an end.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, it's not sad in the business.
No, the show has come to almost a close, and I need to, pay some bills here. So anyway, any comments on the show? Any suggestions? Anything at all? LifestyleBuzzToday@gmail.com. LifestyleBuzzToday@gmail.com. If you are interested in anything that has to do with travel, SilverFoxExpeditions@gmail.com. And we didn't get to talk today about the Gulf to Cuba, but we will next week because today's conversation was way, way too important.
Thank you for having me.
I
appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us. We have been brought to you by Lazy Dog Productions, LLC. Thank you, Erica, for chronicling the show.
Thank you, Jose.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio shows sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like the Robert Conrad